Hi everyone, I'm Loida. Welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, I am a real estate agent out here in Southern California, and pretty much the areas that I cover are LA, Orange County, and the Inland Empire. So if any of you that are out of state or out of the area have a client looking to buy or sell out here, I'm definitely going to put the email right here where you guys can contact me and I'll send you your referral fee. So in this video, I wanted to share with you all my very first listing appointment and the experience that I had going on this appointment. Now keep in mind, this was back in the end of 2015, and at that point I had had my license for maybe 3 or 4 months. What I had been focusing on prior to that was just memorizing my scripts, and I was cold calling and door knocking every single day. Now the way that I generated this particular lead was by cold calling old expireds. The expireds that I was calling were from back in 2009, and this particular individual that I was speaking to, he told me that he ended up refinancing and no longer needed to sell his home. So before I hung up, I asked him the question that you guys should be asking everyone, and that is, before I let you go, have you bumped into anyone recently that has mentioned to you they're looking to buy or sell in the next few months? And he said, yeah, you know, actually my parents are looking to sell their home out here in the area and move out to a retirement community. So I said, perfect, I would definitely love to help them out. What is the best way to get in contact with them to see how I can help them? And sure enough, he gave me his parents' information and also told me what their goals are, why they were looking to move, and also asked me if I knew that area. Now luckily, Brian, he had just sold a property out there and had been involved in the whole process. So I was able to share that with him, that we had just sold a property where they were looking to sell, and I could definitely help them in the transition to where they wanted to be moving to. Because this was not only just going to be a sale, but they were going to be purchasing as well. So I contacted this person, I believe it was in the beginning of November. And just to give you guys an idea of how long it took to actually list the home and sell the home, I had to follow up with maybe 5 calls. The initial call, I talked to the parents, and they were very happy and excited. Their son had already told them about me, so they had a heads up. After that, it was just constant follow-up. This couple was a very elderly couple, so many times I wasn't able to catch them when they were by their phone, or maybe when they were by their phone, they didn't have the information that I needed to in order to obviously do my homework. But I did pre-qualify them and I did set the appointment. And in the initial conversation that I had had with the son, he had told me that pretty much he was going to be very involved in the whole process, and I should maintain contact with him as well to send him anything in regards to paperwork and also to confirm the appointments. So it took about a month and a half in order for us to finally meet. Prior to that, like I said, it was just continuous follow-up and setting a date and possibly even rescheduling for them from what I remember. So it was around December, the end of December, that we actually met for the listing appointment. Now, up to this point, I had never done a listing appointment by myself. I recall that week prior to the appointment, and even when I first got that lead that was going to be a seller, I immediately started practicing my listing presentation even more. Now, I have been working with Brian even before I started, so he has always instilled in me the importance of knowing my scripts. So fast forward, we ended a meeting the end of December, and this is how the presentation went. Obviously, I at that point had my presentation memorized, but I did take the scripts with me just in case, and to be able to see it right then and there in case I missed something or forgot what to say. And luckily, these people were very friendly, very nice. I don't want to say it was a lay down, but it pretty much was, even though they had a lot of objections, and the objections came down to the price. Again, these were very elderly people and they had a price in mind that they wanted to net before they sold. So obviously Brian was there with me, but again, I was the one that was doing the whole presentation. And like I mentioned, they were throwing a lot of objections when it came to the price. And they said, no, we're not going to move. We want to net this amount, or otherwise we're going to stay here forever. And after digging out more information and seeing what was important to them, turns out that what was a big concern to them was their mortgage on their next home. So we were able to break down the numbers of what they were going to net on the property, on the sale of their property, how much they were going to put down on the next home. And it turns out that they would actually be able to make the payments and stay under the amount that they wanted to. So once we cleared that up, and then they were more open to continuing with the process of selling their home and signing on and hiring us. Now, during the whole presentation, it really should take maybe 20-25 minutes for you to do the whole thing. But for me, and again, this was my first time, it felt like it took like an hour. And that is because a lot of the time I had the sellers that they just kept on rambling and telling us about the home. And at that point, I wasn't confident in pretty much cutting them off and bringing them back into the presentation and me being in control. And that's something that I want to tell you guys in this video, that you, in time, and of course through experience and through going on appointments, you're going to realize that you should always be the one in control in the meeting. You never want your potential clients to just talk, because a lot of people, especially the ones that are expressive, they're just gonna tell you everything about the home, and then they're gonna go off on a tangent and tell you about a life story. And you don't want to be there for 2, 3, 4 hours. And I say that because recently an agent told me that they went on a listing appointment that turned out to be like 4 hours. So no, that's a big no-no. So always stay focused on your listing presentation. Pay attention to what they're telling you, but if they start going off on something that's not relevant or important, bring them back and you be in control. So pretty much that's it for how this presentation went. At the end of our meeting, they did end up signing and they hired us. We ended up putting their home on the market. The market where this home was located, usually the average days for a home to sell was about 100. But of course, since we are very skilled in the way that we price our properties, we got our property under contract in less than a week, and we had multiple offers. Obviously, it comes down to pricing it correctly, along with many other things that I have mentioned in other videos that you guys can look up. So if you enjoyed this video, again, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section how your first listing appointment went. And with that being said, I'll see you guys on the next one.